The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of ACUMA, its board of directors, its management staff, or its members. The podcast discussion presented is conversational in nature and for general information only.
Hello and welcome to ACUMA's On Point podcast, a series focused on sharing the stories of people who are making a positive impact in the credit union mortgage industry. I'm your host, Peter Benjamin. Hey, we have a great episode in store for you today. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's do a little ACUMA housekeeping. Justin, you're up. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Do me a favor. I know it's your first time on the pod.
It is.
Talk a little bit louder.
Okay.
On the pod. Yep, we're going with that. We're shortening up everything this year, or at least this episode. I can't hear you. Speak a little louder.
Will do. So everything that we got going on this week, or not this week, everything that we got going on, we just got out of our ACUMA Summit. It was our first one. It was great seeing people come together from all the different credit unions and really just collaborating. It was my first experience with the summits, and I was just really blown away by the level of collaboration that I've been able to see at all of our events. Back in March, of course, we did have our first workshop, which was outstanding. We got to see a lot of good participation. All of our speakers were just on point with everything. Coming up next month, we have our summit that's going to be in Denver. So if you didn't get a chance to make it out to our April one, we look forward to seeing you there. In June, we're going to have our second workshop, which is going to be in Louisville, Kentucky. So again, if you didn't go to our first workshop, same agenda, make sure that you come out to this one because you don't want to miss it. And then our last event for the year, but hopefully it's not the last time we get to see you through the year, would be our annual Make Your Mark happening in National Harbor, Maryland, beginning of October. So we look forward to seeing all of our members and our vendors and affiliates come out, see us, support us, and it's going to be some great times.
Good update. We're not excited about Louisville at all, are we?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, the Bourbon Trail, Who could be excited about that?
How can you not love Louisville? It's a great town, beautiful area, lots of mountains, and that's what we're going to focus on. But, hey, Justin, that's a good update. But you're going to stick around for this episode. I'm going to make you be an active participant throughout this episode. I hope you're ready because our guest, man, he'll talk your ear off in a good way. He has a lot of energy, which I appreciate. Now, let me go ahead and introduce him. Now, our guest today is Scott Albrecht, the AVP of Learning Development with ServiStar Consulting and one of the hosts of the Credit Union Leadership podcast. But also, Scott is a professional ice fisher and plays on Team USA, where I guess fishes, not play. Is it plays, fishes? Scott, what am I doing wrong? Is it play, fishes, participates? Where am I going? Where am I going with this?
Yes.
Fill in the blank.
Yes to all of the things that you just said. Yep.
Okay. Excellent. I love it. Scott, how are you doing?
I'm great, man. It's a great day. It's a great day to be in the credit union world. And it's a great day to be on this podcast. Such an honor to be on the ACUMA podcast, the ACUMA pod, as you just shortened it. Right. Sorry.
Well, I mean, the other day you called it a cast, and I was like, admittedly, it confused me a bit. And I was like, a cast? We put on a play? But I guess it kind of is a play a little bit. There's not really the script, but we have talking points. But anyways.
That's what I am on Team USA. I'm a cast member on Team USA. So because we cast and fishing. Yeah.
There we go. Cameron, who's probably listening in right now, loves a good dad joke and a good pun. So we appreciate you going on that path. So thank you very much for that. Now, hey, Scott, over the past year or so, I've had the pleasure of getting to know you. And from the moment we talked, I could tell that you are very passionate about what you do, who you do it for. But at the same time, you're very passionate about helping others. Okay. And so, based off of all those things, those passions that really you express and show every single day, we thought that, hey, that's probably the best place to start with you as we go through the next, we'll say 20, 25 minutes, just really getting to know Scott a bit more. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, for sure. If I was a vegetable, I'd be a passion fruit.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So, like I said, you have a lot of passion. You love the credit union industry. You and I talked about this, the other day, and it was based around, okay, what drove that passion? What really helped you really down the road to success and maintaining really, I guess, your drive to just want to help people. Like, let's give us that backstory behind Scott a bit.
Yeah, I was an individual employee at a Fortune 15 company here in Columbus, Ohio, called Cardinal Health, and I thought I made it, Peter. I thought I made it. Fortune 15. There's only like 14 other companies in that company, and
were you number 15?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was somewhere around there, and so we were, big old company headquarters. There's a fitness center on site. There's a wellness center on site. There's a coffee shop on site, and there's a credit union on site. Okay. And so I was a member before I was ever a manager in the credit union space. I was a member. They would walk into the credit union every day just to say, hi, how was that guy? Hey, you guys have those people, right? They just stop by. Hey, let me tell you about the grandkids. So I was that guy every day. Hey, how you guys doing? Do you need something done? No, I just stopping by to say hi. And then the manager left. And it was absolutely something that I wasn't considering. Somebody said, hey, you'd be a great fit for this role. And I was like, but I'm working for the Fortune 15, company. And it took some talking to some people at the credit union to learn about the background of the credit union. And that's where the passion kind of ignited. So I always knew that the credit union was cool because, I was in there every day mixing it up with the peeps. But when I figured out all the things that I was missing out on as a member of my own credit union, oh man, something was lit inside of me. Like, we had a checking account, Peter, that paid 2% interest, and nobody took the interest in telling me about it. We had some mortgage products that were phenomenal at the time, and nobody asked me where I had my mortgage, which, by the way, was not at the credit union. And so I got that job. And we started having immediate success, and other people in the credit union started to pay attention to it. It was Baxter Credit Union, BCU, known for being one of the fastest growing credit unions in the last 15 years. And I got people calling me up and saying, hey, what's the secret to your success? And a lot of the success that we had, we won 13 sales and service awards. We won 2 president's awards. That's like the best branch out of all the branches. At the time, there was about 40 branches nationwide. So we won 2 of those suckers. And a lot of the things that we were doing, they couldn't replicate because it came from this passion place that I was a member before I was a manager. And you can't replicate that. Like when you start looking at every situation through the eyes of the member because you used to be one, it changes the game. It really does. So I had to rally my team around this purpose because, again, they weren't members before they had joined the credit union. They became members of the credit union because they were employees. And so we sat down, my very first team meeting, I'll never forget it, Peter. I said, where do we want to be? They're like, at home. I was like, okay, that's the opposite of what I was trying to accomplish here. I was like, from a work standpoint, while we're here and we're serving members, like, who do we want to be? Like, what version of ourselves do we want the members to know us as? Oh, okay. And so we came up with this kind of whole notion of we want to be the Cheers of community banks in the area. We want to be the Cheers-like environment. Now, again, I'm kind of giving away my age. Like everyone listening is like, I don't know what that is. Google it. It's a sitcom from back in the 80s. It was so anyone who has ever watched that sitcom, I'm not going to sing it because I'm a terrible singer, probably could to rattle off every single word of that theme song. Scott, I hear that you have a voice of an angel. Can you? I only know the main chorus, which is where everybody knows your name.
We'll take it. So, I'm pretty sure I saw a unicorn pop up behind you as you were singing that one bar. So that was perfect. Thank you very much for that. Anyways, continue.
So where everybody knows your name was kind of like we could all kind of rally around that, right? We wanted to be able to have a feel like you would have if maybe you go to your favorite restaurant and the person that always takes your order knows your order. Right. Justin, they know your order. So it's Diet Mountain Dew, no ice. And they don't even ask, hey, do you want the same thing? They bring you a Diet Mountain Dew, no ice. We wanted that kind of an experience from a credit union standpoint. And so we did some weird things like on the TVs that are just kind of showing like the rates and the market and that kind of stuff. We turned on sports. because we wanted people to come in from this corporate Fortune 15 corporate setting, and then we wanted to let them let their hair down a little bit. And so we put on sports because that's a familiar thing. And in Columbus, Ohio, Buckeyes are everything. And so if we had some sports on the TV, we thought maybe that would help them lower their hair a little bit. It used to have no music whatsoever. Second, one of those Amazon Alexa things came out. I was like, plug and play, let's go. And I was like, hey, Alexa, turn on 80s rock. And every morning, without a doubt, the same song started up. Can you guys guess the song that started every morning in my branch?
The Cheers theme song.
That would be hilarious. It was AC/DC, Back in Black. I can't tell you what other song gets you up and ready to open those doors at 8 a.m. So here I am, a branch manager. I'm running several branches now. They start giving me the keys to some new branches that DBSI helps us build out. Some of these new kind of like weird concept branches. I don't say weird, just like I had a branch where there's no employees, right? It was appointment only. I had a branch where it was 100 square feet, like just like a little micro branch. So playing out with new technologies, that kind of stuff. And the whole time I'm doing mortgages. So like kicking it old school where like the branch manager also has an NMLS number. Kicking it old school where I'm setting up the schedule. I'm doing teller transactions. Oh, and I'm doing a first time mortgage appointment. Right. And so had a lot of success in that mortgage area, so much that we actually had our own dedicated LO for our branch. And we actually got one of my member service representatives an NMLS number, and he started doing mortgages for BCU and took off, absolutely took off. And so, ever since I joined ServiStar, what I noticed, because I joined ServiStar right in the middle of the pandemic. And so another point of passion for me, Peter, is what I noticed. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Let's tell you, you're fine. I mean, this is all about you, right? Mm-hmm. But, before we move on to your other passions, right? And I want to come back, right? Because you said a lot, which I appreciate. You talked about that vision, right? Mm-hmm. And you contribute that vision a lot to your success, and a lot you contribute that vision to the success of your team, right?
Yeah.
What was it about that vision? It was a simple vision, where everyone knows your name, and it was that rallying cry, but it had to be more than that, right? As a leader, we can write down whatever we want on paper, right?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't mean anything until you get that buy-in from everyone, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that vision helped. Really, that simple act of writing a vision. Do you feel like that contributed to your success because you had that buy-in? I mean, what was it?
Yeah. So my background was in change management when I used to work for the Fortune 15 company, and I was in charge of managing change and people I had no authority over. Right. And so you got to use a lot of influence when you're trying to do that, right? And so when I got my own team, I'm the manager. I was like, okay, it should be easier to manage change. It's actually not.
It's horrible.
Just because I can fire you or give you a raise doesn't really make me, everything that I say out of my mouth gold. What I needed was a pillar to wrap these change points around that was beyond just Scott's bias, right? Like, I'll give you an example. When a member walks into the branch, what do? Well, in Scott's branch, you stand up. Well, if I don't have a pillar to wrap that concept around, now it's Scott's bias. Justin, if you were my member service representative, you'd be looking at this new rule that Scott created and be like, well, my back hurts, man. Hey, my feet hurt. I don't want to stand. You want me to stand up 8 hours a day? We're a busy branch. I can't stand 8 hours a day. But when I say, hey, remember when we talked about what we want to be and how we're going to get there? Well, if we want to be the branch where everybody knows your name, right? We're an approachable branch. To use the Cheers example, every time Norm would walk into Cheers, everyone would turn around and be like, the Norm, right? And so what could we do with our physical bodies to kind of have that Norm experience? Continuing to sit and finish an email and putting a one finger up saying, I'll be with you in just a moment. It's not the Norm experience, right? And so let's break the norm. See what I did there? Okay. Let's break the norm and let's stand up. It got to the point, team, where, I was ready to take the chairs out of the lobby because they continue to sit down. It was until I rallied what I was trying to get them to do around the center vision, the center focus point that we all agreed we wanted to get to, it was a lot easier to have them change their behavior. Listen, as a leader, your number one job is to change behaviors in others. And you're leading people who, by the way, don't want to change those behaviors. So I teach leadership training for a living. Listen, man, in America, me and Jenny Craig, we got as much business as we'll ever need because we do two very hard things. Living a healthy lifestyle, super hard. Jenny Craig's always going to have business in America. Changing people who don't want to change, changing behaviors and people who don't want to change. That's what leadership's all about. And that's what we do here at ServiStar.
Well, the tough part, sorry, Justin, I know you have a question because you'll be kind of raising your hand, but it's not just what makes it difficult about managing change is that people's acceptance of change, for lack of a better term, changes daily, right? It's the change curve, right? One day they're accepting, the next day they're denying the change. And that's what makes it tough, so, but it sounds like you got good buy-in and you were able to, you found the magic sauce to get them to at least be on that side of that change curve, that pendulum, that's always on the accept side. They may be hesitant at times, but they're still moving forward in that positive direction. Justin, what were we going to say?
So, I mean, Mike, it kind of goes right along with that is, you talked about how you had a member service rep that you ended up getting MLS for, who ended up selling mortgages, and how you came in and saw that the mortgages weren't really being offered. How did you change? You set the vision, right? But then you come in and you're like, I'm not just going to change how we're doing it. I'm going to change your motivation. How did you go about that? Shifting their motivation and their way of thinking to really jump on the Scott bandwagon.
Yeah. We'll talk about bandwagons, right? So a vision, a mission, being the branch where everybody knows your name, it takes time to accomplish. And depending on your vision or your mission statement, that might take more than your lifetime to accomplish. And so just like a long road trip, like you get your kids in the car, we're driving to Disney World, right? What do the kids want to know? Are we there yet? So we got to show the kids the mile markers. Like, hey, you guys living in the Washington, D.C. area, be like, hey, we just passed South Carolina. That's an indication we're closer to Florida, right? Here in Ohio, hey, we just passed, Cincinnati. Hey, we just passed Louisville, huh? Yeah, the Bourbon Trail. That's where ACUMA is having their next workshop. So it'd be sweet. I'm going to be there. So we're going to be closer to Florida. If you're in Wisconsin, well, you're going to have a lot more mile markers driving to Orlando. And so just like a kid in a car needs mile markers, employees on a team need little mile markers to remind them that we're getting closer to the vision, because accomplishing the mission might be longer than their term as an employee there. So the mile markers that I would set up in a branch like that would be catching people doing things right. This is a vision or a terminology that I straight up stole. We can use the term borrowed because we're credit union people. So we borrowed it from Ken Blanchard. The book is called Whale Done. If you've not read the book Whale Done, it's a 45-minute read. It's amazing. It's about Shamu, a killer whale that they trained to jump through a hoop on fire with a top hat on using nothing but positive reinforcement. Now, I'm not saying as a branch manager or an MLO or someone who's over mortgages that you can only use positive reinforcement in managing. There's a place for holding people accountable. But the mile markers, those little things where you can say, hey, remember how we said we wanted to be this? We're a little bit closer today. Catching people doing things right out loud and often, I'd say once per day, was a really good way for us to enforce those behaviors, to the point where this is hilarious. I came up to the teller line to get stamps. And I'd been catching people doing things right so often that I got up to, it was my turn to go. And the MSR at this time turns around and look at me and says, the last transaction, I used open-ended questions. I feel like I positioned the product using a benefit statement, and I assumed the close. Huh? Is that what you're about to say that, right? I was like, no, actually, I need 2 books of stamps, but hey, good job. What I had done is I created an environment where they're already catching themselves doing it right, and they're catching each other doing it right. And so that really was the key. That's a good question, Justin. So you set the anchor, and then you set up these mile markers to say, okay, we're getting closer. We're getting closer, getting closer. Honestly, Justin, I don't think that we've ever fulfilled fully 100% every member every time we used their name 3 times in the transaction, but we definitely got closer every year, and our results showed that.
I mean, that's the great thing about a mission or a goal. Even is certain missions and certain goals, like you can never 100% obtain, because as soon as you do, like you just want to move it a little further. It continuously moves. Like, I mean, I was in sales for a long time, and that was one of my thoughts was like, you know, I did 100%. Okay, now let's go to 110%.
Mm-hmm.
Then 110%. Let's go to 120. You know, I always just kept shifting that mindset, and it sounds like that's what you were doing as well. Is like, even if you got close, it was like, okay, we're almost there, but it just got a little bit further away.
Yeah,
we're always going to be reaching that extra mile for our members.
And it's even more important for people that are credit union minded. So the difference between a salesperson like you and I, Justin, is that you give us a number and we're going to remove any obstacle to get to that number. We've done a research study with credit union employees, and credit union employees have more in common with people in the Red Cross than they do with people in banks. Credit union employees have more in common with people at the Red Cross than people that work in banks. People that work in banks are internally motivated, whereas people in credit unions are both internally and externally motivated. So if they help a member, that gives them just as much motivation as if they get an incentive or a bonus or a reward for doing a sales goal. And so you see this kind of disparate reaction to sales goals in particular, because they don't want to do anything to their members. Right. And so you got to have these kind of vision points, these visions and missions to help them rally their behaviors, because people that come to credit union, they need to have a purpose for what they do. Not to say that people that are salespeople don't have purpose, but our purpose is to be the best. Right? We're internally driven to be awesome. Right. People that work in credit unions don't have that same kind of mindset. And so we got to give them something that gives them value, something that gives them purpose. And what better than our industry, right? Not-for-profit cooperatives. Like, listen, man, back in 1907, if I needed a loan for a fridge and I was at a Rockefeller, you know where I went? Loan sharks, brother. If I was late one payment, you know what they'd take from me? They didn't put a collection on my credit report. They took my left kneecap, man. Baseball bat to the left kneecap. That's what credit unions came in to solve. Banks weren't doing loans unless you're a Rockefeller. I mean, do we have payday loan sharks now? Yeah, they don't have baseball bats, but there's still an opportunity to really make a huge difference in the world through financial wellness initiatives, and credit unions are so positioned nicely to do that. I think, Peter, on my podcast, you had talked about how credit unions are uniquely positioned to solve the crises that are happening right now in mortgages today because of our philosophy and our purpose. And so it's awesome. It's awesome working for this industry.
Oh yeah. So let's in the last few minutes that we have, let's pivot. Okay. So you talked a lot about, helping others, and you kind of dipped your toe into this topic, but I want to come back to it. Being a loan originator, helping first-time home buyers. And you and I talked about your passion for financial wellness, really, being a loan officer and having a passion for financial wellness really go hand in hand with each other, especially when it comes to first-time home buyers, because let's think about it. It's you are setting someone up to make the largest purchase of their career, right? Oftentimes we lose sight of the fact that this is a family, this is a person that is going through a very stressful time, because buying a house is not the same as buying a car. I mean, it's very document heavy. I don't want to say it's labor intensive, but it can be. Stress is at all-time high. And so you have to have that compassion for what we're doing as we talk to first-time home buyers, right? At the same time, we want to make sure that we are setting them up for success when it comes to their financial wellness. Now walk us through your thoughts, your philosophy on all of that. I know I said a lot.
Yeah.
But walk us through that. I mean, I know that you have a passion for financial wellness. You wrote a book, you narrated a cartoon. I mean, you've led a podcast on this topic, but let's really focus on first-time home buyers, being a loan officer, and really setting that first-time home buyer up for success with really making them understand or helping them be better prepared to enter home ownership.
Yeah. Thank you, Peter. Yeah. One of the toughest things that I did was handing off my favorite appointment to my member service representative. We needed a mortgage loan officer for my branch. We just had too much volume. To give you an idea, in 2020, we did $100 million in loan originations. And, I can't run 3 branches and do $100 million in mortgage loan originations. I can't. And so the hardest thing the hardest thing I ever did was hand off those conversations. And here's why. Peter, we were all credit union certified financial counselors through CUNA's FICEP program at BCU. We were my branch was the first branch that had every single employee certified through this program. And so we were taking about 100 calls a year from people who were trying to work on their credit or trying to get approved for a car loan or trying to increase their credit score or trying to get a savings account established for whatever, right? Individual pieces of financial wellness were being attacked by our branch on a regular basis. In this mortgage appointment, first-time homebuyer appointment, every aspect that we learned about in FICEP training would come to life. We talk about savings, right? So, first-time homebuyers have to know about savings. And here's the coolest part. They want to know about savings, right?
They do.
So most of the members either want to know about one piece or another piece, but not the whole picture. First-time homebuyers needed to know about every aspect of financial wellness, and they were eager to learn. It was the best time if you're interested in education. It took an hour minimum. And honestly, in the spring, good luck. If you wanted me to get my audits done on time, like literally all day, I'm in hour appointments. So 8 hours, no lunch, no audits done. I barely got to any emails. I love the spring. I love those days. I miss them. I miss them like crazy. So when I joined ServiStar and we started doing training for credit unions, we've been doing this for 25 years. I had this itch, man. I was like, I got to get back into mortgages. I got to influence this industry somehow because we were doing so good in this category, but getting very little development because we were so busy for 3 years. Yeah. And so so I'm super excited to partner with ACUMA on these upcoming workshops. It's going to be great.
No. So this is, I sense your passion for a lot of things that you do, and home buying education is something I feel very passionate about. Something in my last position, we did a lot of home buying education seminars. We were trying to put together refi seminars because that is a very important component to being a successful loan officer, but two, building that trust and the relationship with your members, right? That's part of it. I mean, I'd be amazed. I'd love to even see this. If this was even possible for us to even get this type of statistic, how many loan officers actually sit, especially nowadays with everything is e-sign and everything is digitized, how many loan officers actually schedule an appointment with their borrowers to just go over the disclosures? Just go over the disclosures, page by page by page. What does this mean for you, especially a first-time home buyer? What does this mean for you? This is how it could possibly impact you. This is what this form means. I feel as though I'm not off base by saying I would say one out of 10 loan officers still do that. But that is I would not be shocked if that was the statistic. Anyways, Scott, I appreciate your passion. I appreciate everything you shared, but you have one other passion, and I hinted at it at the very beginning, and that's ice fishing. And so, based off of that passion, I thought it appropriate to let's go ahead and transition to my second favorite part of this podcast. It is a little section that we focus on, fun facts, statistics, some trivia. Sometimes we'll do some bad dad jokes. And they get pretty bad sometimes. All PG, but they get pretty bad. But let's go ahead and transition to this segment. So what I have here is some fun facts and statistics about your passion. Something, from what I can tell, that you are a cast member on Team USA for ice fishing. Let's go into some fun facts and statistics based around your passion ice fishing. All right, so here's how it's going to go down. I'm just going to ask a question, and between you and Justin, all I want you to do is just throw out numbers, throw out rankings. Try your best to answer to the best of your ability. Sometimes I may say, hey, let's go higher, let's go lower, but you get the gist of it. All right. So
we got this, Scott.
You got this. So these aren't hard. They're not hard. I mean, I did not know them, but they're not hard. But for someone who is a professional ice fisherman, this should just be a walk in the park.
Stump the chump.
Right, so now, surprisingly, every fact that I found or every statistic I found was based out of the great state of Wisconsin, where, by the way, ACUMA is headquartered.
Credit unions all over the world regard Wisconsin as the home state of credit unions.
There you go. All right. So here it is, right? So in the great state of Wisconsin, ice fishing is the fourth most popular winter activity. Can you guess? And then again, we'll just throw this around. In the great state of Wisconsin, what are the other three most popular winter activities in the great state of Wisconsin?
I got them.
I didn't hear it.
Ice hockey for sure. I've been to ice hockey games. So I went to an ice hockey game for like an 8-year-old. Okay. I show up, everybody's out in the parking lot tailgating for an 8-year-old's ice hockey game up in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. So that's one. Ice curling's up there as maybe number 3. Ice or skiing, downhill skiing is number 2.
Okay.
Justin, would you change any of those answers?
I mean, I was just thinking there's got to be some kind of winter hunting going on. Like,
oh yeah, no, I'm wrong.
You know, right. You got they're in a keep somewhere, just you know, in a blind waiting.
Okay,
that's true. So hunting, skiing, and I don't know, snowmobile racing, is that a thing?
Oh yeah, I thought about that. Yep.
All right. So according to this website, again, a Wisconsin-based website, ice fishing is following just sledding, snowmobiling.
Boom, Justin. Point.
And then actually just ice skating. So I guess we can kind of group hockey into ice skating.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say me and Scott got that right 100%.
All right.
We'll have to get with Wisconsin. We'll have to get with Wisconsin. I have a newfound appreciation for ice hockey after visiting Rhinelander, Wisconsin. I'll tell you that, man. They go all out, like college football all out for 8-year-olds ice hockey.
There are some places where, especially up the northern Midwest area, that ice hockey, man, it gets vicious. It's very competitive.
It's a big deal. Big deal.
All right. So during ice fishing season, and just in this great state of Wisconsin, can you guess, or just give me a number for how many fish are caught during ice fishing season in Wisconsin?
100,000.
How many?
100,000.
100,000. Justin, is the number higher or lower?
I'm going much less because, you know, you got people like me who are not fishermen or fisher people, right? So 500. I would struggle with catching one. So 500. That's got to be the most. It's
all right. So the number has to either be closer to 500. So that 500,000, just literally 500.
No, just 500.
Okay. There's an approximate 14 million fish are caught during ice fishing season in Wisconsin.
If you add Justin's answer and my answer together, we get closer.
You do, but it's still not there yet. It's still not there. Okay, so
the mile marker. We're getting closer to the vision.
I'm gonna look for a percentage. Okay, just give me a percentage. Out of the 1.4 million fishing licenses sold in Wisconsin, how many of them say they are for ice fishing?
25%.
How much?
25.
25. Okay. Justin, higher or lower?
Lower.
Give me a number.
12%.
12%. Scott, I'm gonna say that you're almost spot on. It's 30%.
All right.
Which equates to, we'll say, about 467,000 licenses for ice fishing. That is a lot.
If you round up to the nearest 10, I'm right there. Credit union math. Round up.
That's right. All right. So I'm gonna ask 2 more questions. How many anglers or fishermen for Justin? How many anglers attend the world's largest ice fishing contest?
100,000. Brainerd, Minnesota.
That is the correct location, but give me the number for how many attend.
100,000.
100,000? Okay. You went a little high, but we'll give me a different number. I don't want to blow you out. Give me a different number.
1,000.
Okay. Okay. Justin.
How many anglers attend an event?
This contest.
There's
hot pizza on the ice, Justin. There's hot pizza.
There's just one contest where you sit on ice and fish.
You can get pizza delivered to your hut.
Well, Scott's one, so we're definitely more than one. I'm going to go with around 500.
500.
My favorite number today, 500.
All right, so stick with that. Okay. 15,000. 15,000.
We're not.
But Scott, no. But Scott, you knew exactly where it was, though.
I get extra points.
You do.
I'm going to use those points. Watch out.
And just and I'll throw this. I'll throw this out. Here's a good fact for you. Out of that, we'll say the whole contest during that time, over 20,000 holes are drilled in the ice for that one contest.
Yep.
That is I didn't know much about ice fishing before I started researching these fun facts. I have to admit I'm a little fascinated.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated.
Do you know what the best hole is on a competition like that?
What?
The corner hole. So you want to get one of the corners because you can have fish coming in from either direction. You get in the middle, you're kind of trapped, you're landlocked. But if you get on the corners, you can actually have fish coming in from other directions.
This is so fascinating.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So we probably go through these all day, and I could stump you all day, but I think we need to wrap up. Scott, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to sit down with us for a bit. I enjoyed getting to know you and your passion a bit more. Again, from the ACUMA team, I do appreciate your time. And to that end, we have a lot of great things coming up in the near future. So please be on the lookout for several great events that we have coming down the pipe from ACUMA. A lot of great news we have coming up. And to Scott, again, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Other than that, everyone, that wraps up today's episode of the ACUMA On Point Podcast. Be well, my friends. We'll chat later. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time at the ACUMA On Point Podcast. If not already, be sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. For more great episodes and information, be sure to visit us online at acuma.org. And to get the latest updates, head over to our LinkedIn page.